Hello and welcome to the Wayne County Probate Court. This video will guide you in filling out the supplemental testimony to identify non-heir devisees, which is form PC 566. And before we get started, this video is not legal advice and is for informational purposes only. You must seek legal counsel to address questions specific to your situation. So let's get started in filling out the form. The first thing we want to do is go to the Wayne County Probate Court website at www.wcpc.us. In the upper middle, you see probate information. When you click on the link on the left, how to start a Wayne County probate case, click that. You'll see the various case types. You can start with the court. We will pull the form from the decedent's estate application. When we scroll down, we see form PC 566. When you click on it, it brings up the form, which you can begin to fill out right on your computer. However, I have an annotated one, which we'll use to walk through the form. Now, this form is a little bit more legal intensive than some of the other forms. So again, it's strongly recommended to seek an attorney if you are not sure about how to fill this form out. But in the upper left, we'll put in the county of Wayne. And then on the right, if you are filling this form out as part of your application or petition for the first time, before you have filed it, you won't have a file number, so you will leave this blank. But if you do have a file number, then you will put that here. Then you're going to fill out the name of the decedent, which is the estate of, and then you put in the name of the person who died. And then, just to review before we get too far into it, this form may not be required in your situation, so you may not need to fill this out as part of your application or petition. But if there is a non-heir devisee, then you will need to fill this out. And so a devisee is someone who is entitled to receive property from an estate pursuant to the will. Now, an heir is someone who would be entitled to receive property pursuant to Michigan's Estates and Protected Individuals Code, which is often called EPIC. And then a testator is the person who made the will. So if someone is receiving property pursuant to a will, but is not an heir, then you will need to fill this form out. If that's not the case in your situation, then you don't have to fill this form out. So going to the number 16, the names of all devisees named in the will and codicils who are not heirs of the decedent are, and then it says include testamentary trustees and beneficiaries of testamentary trusts. So sometimes people can make a trust within a will. So they're saying if there's a beneficiary or a trustee who is not an heir, also include them in number 16. An example to illustrate when the situation might arise or when you need to fill this form out is if the person who died was good friends with their neighbor, but had no other relationship with, but they had no other relationship with each other than the fact that they were neighbors, and the decedent wanted to leave the house to the neighbor's kids. Well, if that's the situation, then the kids are devisees, but not heirs, and they would need to be listed on 16 here in the form. So you'll fill out the name of the non-heir Non-Heir Devisees in 16. Then moving to 17, of the devisees listed in 16, the following died before the decedent. So if this is true, you're going to check box 17 and put the name of the person who died before the decedent. Moving on to 18, the following devisees died within 120 hours after the decedent. You'll put, if this is true, if someone died within 5 days of the decedent, you're going to check box 18 and put in the name of the person who died within 5 days of the decedent. Then number 19, the following are descendants of the predeceased devisees named above who survived the decedent. So if the people named above in 17 or 18 had descendants, such as kids or grandkids, you need to check box 19 and include the names of the descendants here. Number 20, class gifts in the will or codicils where the members are not specifically identified by name are as follows. The class gifts might be to the grandkids of the neighbor, if we're using that example. The grandkids would be a class gift where there's not a specific named person, but grandkids would be the class, and there might be one grandkid or 5 grandkids, depending on the situation. If that is applicable, you'll check box 20 and put in the information here. Moving on to page 2. The following devisees named above are under legal disability. Their names, legal disabilities, and names of their representatives are. So if someone is a minor child under a guardianship or a conservatorship, that needs to be typed in here. Click box 20. Type in the names who are under a legal disability and include the representative who represents them, such as the name of the guardian, the conservator, or the parent. Moving to 22. The following deceased devisees survive the decedent by more than 120 hours. Their names and the names of those who represent their interests are. So if someone who is a devisee died, but died more than 5 days after the decedent, that needs to be included in box 22. And don't forget to include who is representing their interests. They might have a personal representative, in which case you'll include that name as well. Finally, 23, the guardian ad litem for each devisee under the will or codicils who is unborn, unknown, or unascertainable is. If there's a guardian ad litem, you will check box 23 and include that name here. Then you will sign in front of a notary. The notary will fill out this information after they have witnessed you sign the document. If there's an attorney, they will sign as well and include the information here. And that is how to fill out Form PC 566. Again, as you can see, it's a little bit more legal intensive, so you may need to hire an attorney or consult an attorney in filling out the form. Hopefully this was helpful. We here at the Wayne County Probate Court put this video together because we care. Have a great day.